Good evening. I'm Ed Grondelski, Chairman of the Town Council, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. First order of business is the prayer, and I'd like to invite Vanna Cruz, pagan from the Cornerstone Baptist Church.
It's Pastor Yana or Reverend Yana, but it's Yana, just so we all know. Thank you for this honor and privilege. Let us pray to the Holy God. Gracious God, source of wisdom, justice, and peace, we gather tonight as neighbors and servants of this community, seeking your guidance for the work before us. As decisions are made and conversations unfold, grant this council clarity of mind, compassion of heart, and the courage to do what is right for all who call this town home. Bless every person in this room, those who lead, those who will speak, those who listen, and help us to remember that behind every person is a story, behind every budget there is a family, and behind every concern is a human being created for your image. That especially includes those that are different than us. Make the space, Lord, a place where differing perspectives are honored. Guide us toward cooperation rather than division, wisdom rather than haste, and hope rather than fear. And may the work here done tonight contribute to the flourishing of our community and reflect our shared commitment to justice, equality, and the common good for all. Many blessings.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Tony Gambatista is excused with notice, and Tammy Wigfield is on remote. Are we on, Tammy?
I hear you loud and clear, Ed. Do you hear me?
Okay, yes, very good. Thank you. Okay. Adoption of minutes. Can I have a motion?
We don't have any minutes none were submitted.
Says none. Sorry about that. Okay, well, you're so used to it. Okay, item 6, presentations, proclamations, and declarations. Let's see. First, I'd like to recognize Michelle. Oh, okay, very good. There we are. I want to recognize Jason Anderson and Michelle Murphy, former council members, and we have a plaque for their service. I'm going to put my glasses on. I guess if you guys would want to come forward, and I guess we'll do this all over here. Is this thing, okay. Presented to Jason Anderson in appreciation for dedicated and distinguished service to the Tinley Town Council as a member of the Tinley Town Council, December 2017 to December 2025. Present this nice day of December 2025 by the Tinley Town Council. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. Presented to Michelle Murphy in appreciation for dedicated and distinguished service to the Tinley Town Council as a member of the Tinley Town Council, December 2021 through December 2025. Present this nice day of 9th day of December 2025 by the Tinley Town Council. Thank you. You helped me a lot. There's a lot of things with the sewer thing, and I'm glad you were there. We have another presentation, Andy Whitehead. He is not here tonight, but we will read this. Presented to Andy Whitehead in appreciation for dedicated and distinguished service to the town of Killenly as a member of the Killenly Town Council, December 2021 through December 2025. Present this ninth day of December 2025 by the Killenly Town Council. So I appreciate all these people. They put in a lot of time, and I wish them well in the future. Thank you. Would you guys like to make a remark? I mean,
Michelle Murphy, 325 Breakneck Hill Road. I just want to say thank you again. It's been a pleasure. I learned a ton. It was a great, great experience for me. Sometimes very, very challenging and outside of my comfort zone, but I am not the same person today that I was when I started, and I'm appreciative of that. And I'd like to wish everybody good luck going forward on the town council. And, a lot of mentorship happened, Ed and, everybody that I worked with. So thank you very much.
I just want to thank everyone here for coming forward to volunteer for the community. I thank everyone who's supported me for 8 years. I learned so much, like Michelle did. When I first came on 8 years ago, I didn't know much at all. I was glad to have John Cecilini my first 2 years. As a mentor, I learned a lot from him when he was chair. I learned a lot from town staff, from the public, and I was humbled and honored to serve for 8 years. And I just want to thank everyone, and I look forward to the direction Killenly's going in right now. I believe our new town manager is going to do a phenomenal job, and we just got to keep the town moving forward. And good luck to you all.
okay. Now we have another proclamation celebrating wreaths. Oh, okay. Well,
Even though Andy's not here, I want to thank Andy for his service, and he was one of the most fiscal conservative members of the town council. I want to thank Michelle Murphy. We worked closely together. She truly was an awesome at-large counselor who worked with the people with many of their problems. She reached out to them personally with emails, letters, visited their homes. And I want to thank Jason for all of his service. He was truly an awesome chair of the council. He led an awesome meeting. He was very knowledgeable. He's very highly intelligent, and I will miss all of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on. Proclamation celebrating wreaths across America. And I believe Tammy would like to read that proclamation.
Thank you very much, Ed, Mr. Chair. On behalf of Patty, Jen, and myself, we really want to encourage everybody this Saturday at noontime to show up at Holy Cross. There'll be like almost 1,000 wreaths to lay. Many hands make for light work, but here's our proclamation, and I want to thank the council for considering putting this forward. Proclamation celebrating Wreaths Across America on December 13th, 2025. Whereas Wreaths Across America is a national mission dedicated to remember our fallen U.S. veterans, honor those who serve, and teach our children the value of freedom. And whereas each December, Wreaths Across America coordinates wreath laying ceremonies at Arlington National Cemetery and at more than 5,200, so that's the exact number when they left this Sunday from Maine to start to deliver the wreaths. 5,200 participating locations across the U.S., including here in Killenly. And whereas this important tradition brings together volunteers veterans, Gold Star families, civic organizations, and residents to honor the men and women who served our nation in devotion and sacrifice. And whereas Wreaths Across America on December 13th, 2025 provides an opportunity for all residents to come together to honor those who have defended the freedoms and values we cherish. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Town Council of the Town of Killingly that December 13th, 2025 be recognized as a day to celebrate Wreaths Across America and encourages all residents to participate in honoring our veterans through wreath-laying ceremonies, expression, and instructions of gratitude. Killingly Town Council, Ed Grandelsky, Chair, dated at Killingly, Connecticut, this 9th day of December 2025. And there's some fun facts. This is our 5th year of laying wreaths. We are 8th out of 97 groups in the state of Connecticut, and we will be laying over 1,000 wreaths this Saturday at all of our sponsored locations. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on, item 7, unfinished business for town meeting action, none. Item 8, citizen statements and petitions. Pursuant to the Town Council Rules of Procedure, Article 4, Section 3, all presentations by citizens shall be limited to an aggregate of 45 minutes, and each citizen's presentation shall not exceed 5 minutes unless otherwise indicated by a majority vote of the Town Council. Public comment could have also been made in person by 2 p.m. the day of the meeting via email and mailed to the town manager's office. Public comment will be posted on the town's website, www.killingly.org. Anyone wish to come up to the podium? Now's the time. Right. Please state your name and your address.
Alfred Dufresne, 148 Pond Road, Dayville, Connecticut. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. I have a story I wrote. It's called The Faithful Worker. Good evening. My name is Alfred Dufresne, Dayville, Connecticut. Tonight I want to speak for someone who has been serving this town longer than any of us have been alive, a worker who never takes a day off, a worker who never once asked for a raise, a worker who has carried the reflection of pine trees and the sky across his back every morning as he quietly goes to work. That worker is Old Killingly Pond. For more than a century, this faithful worker has protected Killingly in ways most people never saw and never had to think about. Long before we used words like aquifer recharge, PFAS, or source water protection, the pond was already doing its job, collecting over 521 million gallons of of clean, spring-fed water, holding it, balancing it, and sending it downstream in steady, reliable flow. And what makes, in part of what makes this pond so valuable is where it sits. It lies far upstream, well away from commercial zones, highways, and areas where spills, runoffs, and heavy industry threaten water quality. Very few towns have a headwater source this clean, this natural, and this well protected from contamination. He has been faithfully working for generations without complaint, but today that worker is injured, drawn down, weakening, unable to do the job he has done for 100 years. And when a faithful worker is injured, the entire workplace feels it. Old Killingly Pond is the headwater that feeds Whetstone Brook. The brook flows into the wetlands in stratified drift deposits that support the Hopkins well field, a major drinking water source for the community. Those wetlands and sands are what recharge the wells. A full pond acts as a natural buffer. It absorbs storms, it stores water during droughts, and it releases flow steadily, supporting the flow to the recharge area exactly when the well field needs it most. When the pond is drawn down, the entire system loses these natural protections, and because the pond lies so far upstream, naturally shielded from pollution risks that exist downhill, its clean water is one of the strongest defenses we have for the Hopkins well field. EPA guidance is clear. The most effective and lowest cost way to protect the drinking water is to protect the clean headwaters before they reach developed areas. Old Killingly Pond does exactly that, or did before its level was reduced. Out of all the public water systems the state could have selected, the Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection and the US EPA chose Killingly's Hopkins Wellfield as their demonstration site, the pilot case study for the Strategic Monitoring Guidance Manual. This is it. And this wasn't just a Connecticut document. It was developed jointly with the EPA Region 1, the agency responsible for all 6 New England states: Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine. The methods in this manual were intended to serve as a blueprint for protecting drinking water supplies across the entire region. And for that blueprint, they chose Killingly. Killingly's system was the one they used to teach other communities how headwater, streams, wetlands, recharge areas, and the public wellfield all connect, and how protecting the very top of the system protects everything downstream. Killingly became the teaching example because our hydrology shows the change so clearly: a chain headwater pond, Whetstone Brook, the recharge wetlands, the stratified drift, the Hopkins Wellfield. And that chain, the very chain highlighted in this manual, begins at Old Killingly Pond, a spring-fed, naturally clean source that has been protecting the community's water long before most people understood its importance. Right now, we also know PFAS filtration is coming. Roughly $6.5 million of treatment at the Hopkins Wellfield. Filtration is necessary, but the quality of the water entering the system still matters. Clean, steady, spring-fed headwater flow reduces stress on the treatment systems and supports long-term quality water. This is not a neighborhood issue. This is a town infrastructure issue. Tonight, I am not claiming to have all the answers, but I am claiming one thing clearly. We cannot allow the most faithful part of our natural infrastructure and one of the cleanest remaining headwater sources to fall. Repairing the dam is essential because the pond cannot serve as a natural buffer or protect Hopkins Wellfield unless it is restored to its proper operating level. Old Killingly Pond is not just a scenic place to visit. It is a working part of Killingly's water protection system. It has been serving us quietly for generations, buffering storms, stabilizing flow to the Whetstone Brook, supporting recharge zone, and helping protect the wellfield and so many people depend on. And now, after a century of service, this faithful worker needs our help. Old Killingly Pond has quietly supported the community. Now its time has come for all of us, the town of Killingly, our state partners, and WISH to work together to ensure it can continue doing the job our drinking water system depends on. By moving forward cooperatively, we can repair the dam, restore the pond, and return this important headwater to full strength. Taking this step protects our water resources, supports long-term planning, and strengthens the future of Killingly. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Gene Laro from 156 Pond Road in East Killingly. I'm here tonight because Old Killingly Pond is not just a pond. It's the beginning of the whole chain of bodies of water that depend on it. When a headwater of a system fails, everything downstream feels it. This is what's happening right now. Old Killingly Pond feeds steady flow into the Whetstone Brook, and the brook runs directly through the Middle Reservoir, the Bog Meadow Reservoir, and the wetlands that surround them, and finally into the Hopkins Wellfield Aquifer Recharge Area. This is what's known as the cascade effect. The health of one body of water determines the health of the next. When Old Killingly Pond is full, functioning, the entire chain gets clean, cold, spring-fed water. That includes our wetlands. Our fish, wildlife habitats, the natural filtration that protects the drinking water and the aquifer. These are not just wetlands and streams, not serenity and scenery, but they're a natural water treatment system. The water runs through healthy wetlands, gets filtered through cold water, and the cold water is naturally cleaned. The filtration is part of why Killingly has such good drinking water sources. Right now, Old Killingly Pond is breached. The flow to the wetlands will be starved in the months ahead. This can't happen. During droughts, the wetlands are supposed to act like reservoirs, sponges, but they can't do this if the system at the very top is drained. Wildlife is taking a hit too. Turtles, fish, herons, beavers, otters, everything depends on the wetlands and the steady flow of water that is now stressed. We can't expect the middle reservoir, the bog meadow, to stay healthy if the pond that feeds them is allowed to collapse. Old Killingly Pond has always been one of the cleanest, coldest headwaters in the region. That's why the system downstream, the wetlands, the reservoirs, the aquifer, has always been so strong. But it only works when the pond is restored. Fixing the dam isn't just about a pond. It's about protecting the entire natural water system, from the wildlife to the wetlands to the drinking water supply that this town relies on. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Al. Thank you, everybody, for being here. My name's Justin Fisher. I live at 94 Dam Road in Dayville. I've been a resident of Killingly since I was a child. First and foremost, I wanted to take the moment to recognize Al Dufresne for his years of service in the water industry. It doesn't go unrecognized. Al, I wanted to thank you for speaking out about the quality of water here in Killingly and being a steward that Killingly needed all along. Speaking for myself and my family, who only recently moved onto the pond in 2019, Al, we apologize for not listening sooner. Thank you for not giving up on us. I don't think anyone realized the magnitude of the potential to this problem. Today, I want to speak about something essential to every household, every business, and every future generation in Killingly. Clean, reliable drinking water. Many aquifers, including ones like the protected Hopkins Aquifer, are recharged and replenished with the help of surface water such as ponds, streams, and rainfall. This aquifer isn't just a natural resource, it's a lifeline. It supports thousands of residents who depend on it every single day for water that is safe, clean, and free from harmful contaminants. By maintaining the natural surface water bodies, we help in sustaining groundwater levels, maintaining aquifer volume, and support continuous replenishment. Old Killingly Pond plays a very critical role in feeding the protected Hopkins Aquifer, one of the community's most important sources of drinking water. Old Killingly Pond is known as the headwaters of the Whetstone Brook. These bodies of water in town provide the aquifer steady groundwater recharge, hydraulic buffering, and dilution of potential contaminants and stability in groundwater flow patterns. Recent findings of PFAS, or the forever chemicals, in some sections of the town are a warning that we cannot ignore. That detection of possible polluted groundwater so close by shows just how vulnerable our water systems can be. Contaminants like PFAS don't break down. Once they enter the groundwater, they can spread silently and persist for decades. It is my opinion that this is why protecting one of the town's largest bodies of water, just a small drop in a bucket, 500 million gallons, no biggie, is not optional, but is mandatory and urgent. Every drop of clean water that enters any aquifer, including ours, the Hopkins Aquifer, matter. Once an aquifer becomes contaminated, the cost financially and health-related could be catastrophic. My hope in speaking on this is that we are able to get everyone together to discuss multiple options and avenues to help protect Old Killingly Pond and the bodies of water downstream. There are many options that we can consider exploring to support the future of all the dams at risk in Killingly. Options such as the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund or the Clean Water State Revolving Fund. Both provide a variety of different supporting options on projects such as building or upgrading treatment plants or even dam rehabilitation. Clean water is not a luxury, it is a human right. Preserving water requires vigilance, strong environmental oversight, accountability from all parties involved, and a commitment from all of us to safeguard this natural resource that sustains our community. The residents of Connecticut are watching and allowing a clean source of water to vanish before us with no foreseeable future based on the actions of a company who have already filled their coffers, while our neighbors are currently worried about providing their families with dirty water. By protecting these bodies of water that help feed the Hopkins Aquifer today, we protect the health, stability, and future of Killingly tomorrow. We must stop the game of hot potato with these dams. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoy your clean drinking water while it is available, because once it's gone, who knows if we can get it back. Thank you.
Good evening, Ian McDonald, 548 Valley Road. First of all, thank you to the town council people who are moving on here, and I do appreciate. Mr. Grindelski's right. It's a lot of time and a lot of energy, and I know we have different opinions on different things sometimes, but I do appreciate everybody's service there and everybody who's continuing on. So, you know, a couple of things. I don't get here as often as I'd like, so a few things to throw out. As we have a newer council or newish council and a newer town manager, one thing I hope we have a focus on is really maximizing whatever we can do in terms of getting grants for the town. I know we have people working on grants, and but I hope we're all looking to keep that budget, you know, from expanding more than it needs to. But this might be a place where we're pushing the envelope a little bit. I know with some grants, you know, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, but I don't want us to be in a position where we're leaving money on the table because we don't have enough capacity or enough staff. And that's certainly not meant as any criticism of anybody working on them currently. It's just let's make sure we have enough capacity to really go productively as much as we can for those. And, you know, as we look at the sewer plant, we're tied up. I've said this before. I hate to beat the same drum, but, you know, it's a good time to really continue that progress we've had with Main Street. We don't know what the economy is going to do. It could be a little bumpy here going forward. So I think that's a worthy focus, as we're not maybe have quite as much revenue due to some of the constraints around the sewer plant. One more thing here is I do hope we can think about maybe engaging a little sooner, a little more proactively. And this is not just for you guys. Let's say the same thing to the Board of Ed. With the Board of Ed ahead of the budget hearing, ahead of the town meeting. Particularly whenever we have issues that are factual issues that we can pursue and get answers to. I hope we're really collaborating as much as we can to get the answers you guys want. And if we're not getting the answers, continue to pursue them. So hopefully, if we have disagreements when we get to the budget hearing or the annual town meeting, those are about priorities, and they're not about not understanding certain facts or being on a different page. And I know there's a lot of work just with your budget, so it's a lot to get into theirs too, but I do think that would be appreciated by a lot of folks. So yeah, and then on the ponds, you know, is said about Main Street, you know, somebody said one thing about Main Street is, you know, what Main Street needs is a lit match. And that was somebody that didn't live near Main Street, right? And so, but we see it's going in a good direction, and it's actually a beautiful Main Street. If you go around, other places, you know, it's pretty attractive, but it needs, you know, it needs a little TLC. But I think the same thing could be said of, you know, a lot of things around town. I know there's a big fight around the power plant and concerns around Alexander's Lake. We already have one of the biggest power plants in the state. Putting one of the biggest ones in the state right near there was concerning to a lot of folks. And, you know, people are concerned about the sewer, the smell from the sewer. And I don't live near the sewer, but I think people are rightfully concerned to not have that be too much of an issue going forward. And we only have so many really nice assets in this town. And whether or not we personally own them or not, Killingly Pond is certainly one of those. And I think, you know, first do no harm. And I think, I know some of this might come towards more on the state or more towards rights, but I think this is something that, as I had said earlier, a lot of our neighboring towns don't have anything anywhere near as nice. And people are out there all the time enjoying that. And it would really be a shame to lose that. So I think that's about all I had to. Yeah, just it's really special, and we hope you guys. You know, we had 256 people when they were talking about draining it over at the old high school on Broad Street, and there's a lot of love for that place, and I hope you guys recognize that and work with residents to keep that a full pond, and we sort out that dam. Thanks.
Ida Barris, 1123 North Road and 299 Quinns Hill Road. So I've listened, boy, everybody did such good work on your research. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we're at a place where we're kind of lucky because we have this magnificent body of water. So you've all heard about how important it is to the quality of our drinking water. You know, it's like Old Killingly Pond should be like Sara Lee. Who doesn't like clean drinking water? But I think that we're kind of lucky because we have a problem that if it's all hands on deck, we can solve it and maintain the quality of water. And absolutely, you know, I love the pond. People that don't live near the pond probably don't even realize it's there. But it is there, and it's one of the most pristine bodies of water. People are fishing there, boating, kayaking, boarding, swimming, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful asset to Killingly. It's really a big quality of life issue, and that's always a big selling point when we want people to come into our town. Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. I just got a text saying that the audio for this meeting is not going out. It just says there is no sound for the televised meeting. How do we communicate that to at least two people? Thank you.
Yeah, so if you could, well, we'll talk about this at a future time. So I appreciate people calling in. If there's an issue that we can't get the information out, we need this. And it's kind of tough to answer a cell phone when we're at a meeting, but then again, I think we need to do that because we need to know that the information is not going out. And whatever, I want transparency, I want this out there. I see there's a nice group of people here tonight, but we also need it out there, so we gotta work on that. Okay, go ahead, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, my name is Claudia Terwilliger Allen. I appreciate this opportunity to speak. I live at 56 Taylor Road in Thompson, but most of the first 41 years of my life I lived in Killingly. South Killingly I grew up, and we went swimming at Old Killingly Pond in East Killingly. Have memories of that. But that's not what I wanted to talk about in connection with the pond this evening. It's my understanding that there is an island on that pond that honors Christopher Hoskins, who is a young man who died in a war in the Middle East. I remember him when he was a little boy. I worked with his dad at Killingly High School, Rick Hoskins. And I ask that you keep in mind what might happen to that island. I don't know all the things that these people have talked about water flow and what will happen, but I would like to see that his name, that his Gold Star family are considered in the deliberations that are made about the future and what's done, and the deliberations that are done on behalf of Old Killingly Pond. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Birdie, 125 Lake Road in Dayville. First, congratulations to all the newly elected town council. There's already been quite a bit said about the pond in Killingly. And I do second a lot of the concerns that have been brought forward. I don't want to be repetitive, but with the PFAS issue that has come up this year, I'd like the new town council members to maybe do a little bit of research on those areas that have been impacted. And Cottage Bridge Road is also another issue that isn't too popular with the PFAS issue. So I highly encourage you guys to maybe do your own research on it and look up maybe some of the concerns that are going on with that right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. And I just would like you guys to go forward, entering the town council to just keep in mind that this stuff has been going on prior the past couple months, and a lot of people are concerned about it. So thanks.
Good evening. My name is Pat Lullamere. I live at 259 Margaret Henry Road. Welcome aboard. I wish you well in your new job. Ed, it's good to see you doing well. I grew up in this town, and Old Killingly Pond has been a jewel. It's been a wonderful resource, and I think we should do everything we can to keep it and get it up. The state's talking about such a big surplus. I think we should be looking at some of that surplus to come out this way. It is a resource we can't afford to be without. Thank you.
Jason Anderson, 125 Lake Road. I agree with everything everybody's been saying about Old Killingly Pond. It is a valuable asset. I know it's difficult to try and protect it due to the fact that it's owned by a private entity. I would encourage the council to continue to do whatever they can to push for either DEP to step in, to seek some state grants, or even if there's, I don't know if there'd be any federal grants available for that, to work on the dam. Another possibility I thought about while I was sitting out in the audience is I don't know if anyone's reached out to Connecticut Water to see if Connecticut Water would have any interest in acquiring the dams and the water rights to everything that Right Investors owns. They may be a little better equipped to maintain the dams than Wish, so that's another thought to look into. I do want to thank the town manager for having the information on the town website for residents to see as far as what's going on with Old Killenly Pond and also with the PFAS information. In regards to the PFAS information and the issues down in Cottonbridge, I went through some old emails recently and found some stuff buried way down in the bottom, like 15, 16 emails down into the bottom of an email chain. About 3 years ago, one of the residents on Cottonbridge Road had contacted me that someone was down there at the old Quinniquack farm with an excavator digging, and that had been previously listed as a EPA Superfund site, where EPA had come in and identified what chemicals are buried there. I had brought that up to the town manager. Town manager had town staff down there. Mary Clorio got back to me and said that what they're doing down there, the owner's allowed to do, and that DEP couldn't identify where any of the chemicals were down there. And at the time, I had looked on EPA's website, and at that point, it was no longer listed on EPA's website. Unfortunately, there was a bit of misinformation there. I don't know whether it came from DEP to Ms. Colorio or not. There was actually all sorts of debris that was found down there. They were looking into the owner of the property, who had properties out in Rhode Island, who had been issued orders to remove debris from his properties out in Rhode Island. Included in that were oil tanks. Oil tanks fitting a similar description were then found at Cottonbridge. There was no records that they gave to the town as far as that the owner of the property had, as far as records from Rhode Island as to where he had moved the debris from Rhode Island to. So there is a strong possibility that that debris had been brought from Rhode Island down into Killenly. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's been any follow-up on that, where we're at on that, but I would encourage the town council to look into that, find out what can be done down there, find out if there's still illegal dumping going on down there or not. And thank you for the time.
My name's Alex. No, go. I'm okay with my mom.
We did receive an email this afternoon around deadline speaking to the subject of the dam and the pond. It's a little ambiguous whether he wanted this read into the record or intended it to be a public comment. So I'll just mention it goes on at length. It's a resident that's opposed to spending any local funds or taking over the dam. And I can share this with the council after the meeting.
It's tough to go up there, but I appreciate you, if you have a statement, I'd like to hear it. Okay, I'm gonna let public comment be closed. Item 9, council staff comments. With respect to Jason with Cottonbridge Road, that's a nightmare down there, I don't know. With respect, Jason, with respect to Cottonbridge Road, that's been a problem for who knows how long. It goes on the list, gets off the list, I don't know where it is. We gotta light a fire again and get that going. This PFAS, whether that's coming from there or not, I don't know. But how we at least the DEP is on that portion of it, but I don't know how we can get DEP or EPA or whatever to go back and look at the Cotton Bridge, that debris site. So, I know it's there, and I don't want it to be forgotten. Any other, Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank the public for electing me to this office. I do appreciate it, and I hope I make everybody proud and serve well. I just want to make a comment that this particular council has a lot of experienced people that have been around this town for a long time. We have 3 people here that were former chairs of this body. We have 2 on the council that were former vice chairs, right, Kevin? And a lot of other experience here, including you, Mr. Chairman. You've been here a while and in town for generations. So I'm very proud to be sitting here with all of you as well. And I know we have a lot of work to do, and we'll get to that as soon as I keep my mouth quiet here. But I am very grateful to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other council comments?
Mr. Chairman, John LaBelle.
John?
I too am grateful to everyone who had the wisdom to vote for me. Somebody thinks that's funny. My wife would say the same thing. It's really a great honor and a pleasure. And as a at-large councilman, I'm here to listen to everyone. Bring me your comments, bring me your concerns. The issue with water is, having grown up on a farm, I know once it's gone, it's gone. Regardless as to who's responsible for this, I think we as a public agency have a duty to see that this water source is protected to the best way possible. I agree, public funds should probably not be spent on this. But we, as a body, need to figure out how to fix this problem in a way that is ecologically beneficial to the community. I welcome any comments that people might have, and we'll work with you. I will work with you to help move this along.
Thank you. Yeah, we will work with you, for sure. The state of Connecticut, and whoever needs to be involved. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm probably out of my bounds here, but that's been the story of my life. We need to do what is right. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Thank you for all being here. Please feel free to attend any of these meetings, or give me a call, or send me an email through the town manager's office. Thank you.
I'd like to make a further comment. I mean, this is great to have this many people come to our meeting. A lot of people came to the podium. We need that input, because if we do not get that input, nothing's going to happen. A lot of this is outside of the bounds of the town council or the town, but we can put pressure on the DEP, EPA. Right now, it's in the DEP's hands, both Old Killenly Pond and the PFAS issue, but we've got to be in the background to make sure it doesn't die. So we still need you guys to come forward, you know, kind of be out there, reminding us that these issues are out there. And, you know, we're going to keep putting information out on the website. And hopefully, maybe the other guys can take care of it. Maybe grant money might be available. But I appreciate your interest, and I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. So thank you. Dave.
Brian, is all the information in a hard copy has been put to the library?
No, I don't believe we've put a hard copy at the library about the dam or.
Don't let it bite.
or the wells, we do have that information on the homepage of the website, but I can certainly get a copy over to the
I
library.
think
for
it
people
should
to
be
do.
there for anyone that is not familiar with a computer, can't get it that way. They should be able to get that information in a hard copy by going there. Thank you.
Any other councilor comments? Okay, we move on to interviews for boards and commissions. Okay. Our first interview is for the Agriculture Commission. It's Eric Aschenbach, Gear Road. Ms. Aschenbach is interested in being reappointed as a regular member of the Agriculture Commission. Her term would run from November 1st, 2025 to October 30th, 2028. She is regular member at this time, regular member number 4. If she is here, would she come forward?
I don't see her.
Okay, we will move on. We have another person, Public Safety Commission, Jasmine Birdie, Lake Road in Dayville. Ms. Birdie is interested in being appointed as a regular member on the Public Safety Commission. Her term would run from May 1st, 2025 to April 30th, 2029. She would be regular member number 4. The Public Safety Commission currently has 2 regular member vacancies and 2 alternate member vacancies. Now, do they even have enough to have a quorum to meet at this point? That's.
They will if you make this appointment.
Okay, so this is a critical, the public safety hasn't met for a while. It's been no members. We're finally starting to get interest in there, so it'll be nice to pursue this. So, Ms. Birdie, you have the floor. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Jasmine Birdie. I would just like to say that, excuse me, public safety has not met in quite a bit of time. And I think that it's really important that we get more people from the community involved in commissions and committees. I think it's great that people come to volunteer. I personally have interest in the Public Safety Committee because of my experience and also being a mom of 3 children inside the Killingly school systems. I think it's important to have a parent's point of view as well. I think that different input from different perspectives in the town really helps create a diverse commission, and the viewpoints can bring up facts that may not have been thought about by different populations. I have brought up safety issues in the past to the town council. I also went to QBCC for a short period of time for criminal justice. I was a patrol officer up at Nichols College in Dudley, Massachusetts. I was also a security officer here in Dayville at the Walgreens third shift. And I've also worked in healthcare for quite a few years. I was a CNA during COVID from 2020 to 2022. I was a group home manager for a while, working with individuals with all sorts of disabilities. And I was also a case manager. I graduated from Boston University School of Social Work last year. So I know that the Public Safety Commission, they do work with the local police. They also work with the medical professionals in the area. And I think that my background of working in those fields will help also bring that perspective and be able to collaborate more with those groups.
Well, again, Public Safety Commission hasn't met. We have met members, so we're working on it. I'm glad you came forward. Any other comments? Dave?
Hi, thank you for coming. I'm sorry that we couldn't get to meet last time you came. You indicate in your letter that your regular contacts with staff from KCS, KMS, and KISS.
Yes, so I do have 3 children in the school system. One child is at KCS, the other child is at KIS, and the other child is at KMS. So I do regularly contact whether it's principals or my children's teachers or the superintendent on any concerns that may come up, or other parents that reach out to me and speak up on things that they may have questions about, because I'm one of those people that, I like to just be upfront and figure things out.
Do you have any suggestions about how to make the town of Killenly safer?
I think that communication is a really big part of it, because if we're not collaborating with all these different resources and departments, a lot of issues will slip through the cracks. I think that, maybe even when the Public Safety Committee can hopefully meet, having a public meeting out maybe at the library or something, where they have the public come and voice some concerns every so often, I think would be really good. Like I said, it's really communication that's a big deal right now, and because we haven't had any public safety meetings, I'm sure a lot of the people of the town are just bringing it to the town council, and there's only so much you guys can do, but just collaborating with a lot of the departments, whether it's school, whether it's fire stations, whether it's a police station, whether it's citizens, we need to really hear from everybody in order to get a lot of issues taken care of.
What are your thoughts about having cameras downtown to make it safer?
I think I'm split on that one. My personal opinion, I know that there is an issue going on in Putnam with that right now. I do see pros and cons of both of them, but to make a real decision on that, I think I would need a lot of the facts, and instead of just going off of opinions, and before I make any determinations on what I'm really set on, because like I said, there is a lot of pros and there's a lot of cons to it. Some people don't want their privacy invaded, they have that issue. Other people think it's great to for stolen vehicles and that sort of thing. So it's something that I would just need hard facts about before I make determination on that.
What do you feel about community policing, having constables walk?
I think it's great, to be honest with you. The world is not what it used to be, and I think that having that extra layer of protection and a sense of security for a lot of people in this town would be very beneficial.
Thank you.
I just have a comment in regards to Ms. Birdie's about getting the different groups together, just like Councilor Grondelski had said that people don't like to come up to the podium, and if they're in a small group where they don't have to get up front, they're more likely to voice their concerns, because the same thing for me, they'll voice their concern, but they don't want to come and voice it in front of everybody. And a lot of times, if I'm voicing people's concerns, then it's construed that it's my concern and not everybody else's.
But I think once the Public Safety Commission has regular meeting times, then we can have people come to the meetings too. So there's a lot to work out with this.
Absolutely.
So it's been a long time coming, and hopefully we can fill the position. So we'll be voting at our next regular meeting, and we'll be in touch. Oh.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think Mr. LaBelle had
Sorry, John.
That's the way he's out in the outpost over there.
Thank you for stepping forward for this most important commission. I don't know why we've not had more people step forward, but I just don't know. And I'm a little confused by your application. Okay, it says Vision Committee on the application. In two different places. Do we need to make a correction to that?
Could you be more specific, John? What?
The, question number 4, which board or commission are you seeking as a vision committee? You know, perhaps it was a copying error, but from what I have here, it says vision committee.
You have vision. Yeah, I would say that's a typo, because we're looking at public safety. Yeah. Yeah.
So we recognize that as the motions are made. This is a commission whose responsibility is not to be taken lightly. Safety is a prime concern all around the country, including Main Street and Dianeson. We'd certainly like to see Main Street, Dianeson become more of a human-scape rather than a vehicle-scape. And as a member of the Public Safety Commission, what would you do to encourage the evolution of Main Street from automobiles and the occasional person to the opposite?
Like I was saying earlier, it's a lot of working with different departments and hearing the issues that the public can bring forward. Because when we don't have any communication, there's that gap of we don't really know, what a lot of the issues are. So that way we can't come up with any solutions if we don't hear from people. So I think that just collaborating with a lot of the different departments, working with small businesses as well, hearing from them on Main Street, seeing if they had any concerns, what those concerns might be, and then going forward from there to see what kind of solutions we can put in place.
Excuse my naivete, how would you go about doing that? There's a big gap between an occasional person on the street, a person who lives here who's trying to live safely, people who are here who are trying to raise a family that are at the bottom of their ability to earn extra income at this point in time. How would the Public Safety Commission deal with this, as well as who reports to the Public Safety Commission? Currently, the police report to the town manager, correct? So do we see any changes in that once we get a full Public Safety Commission?
No, I think the role of the Public Safety Commission is advisory to the department. So it's not like they have line authority over the operations of the police department or another department in the town, but it is there to advise the department, the town manager, and the town council on public safety issues.
So the authority that they would have would be through the town manager's office?
I wouldn't really characterize it as an authority so much as it's an advisory commission.
Thank you. I don't know you. I've seen you a couple times around town in various meetings. So I'm at a weakness in terms of voting for or against your appointment. I need to think about that. Thank you.
And Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think my microphone has the least amount of volume. Is that by design, or I don't need it, maybe? Thank you. I do have a question for the town manager, a couple questions, maybe a question for the applicant. Thank you very much for coming out. We need all the volunteers. You can see on the board downstairs, we have a few vacancies. How long has it been since that committee, or that advisory committee has met?
Yeah, I believe
Do
it's
you know?
2021.
Okay, so about 4
It's about
years.
3 or 4
And-
years.
And how many what's a total slate there? How many members of that?
There's 5 regular members.
So there's 4 now that are there?
No, there's 2.
There's 2, so 3 to make a
So
quorum.
3 to make a
Okay.
quorum.
So we have 2. Do you know who they are? I should have done my homework. That's okay. I can look it up. It's on I assume it's on the website? Okay.
Do you know the
I'll
names?
look that.
I do. There's Lori Chapman. She just got appointed. Peter Costaras. He got appointed a couple months ago. And then John Ogden. He's been on it for a couple years. He's been waiting for the quorum to happen. So.
Okay. Again, I want to make a comment. I'm not going to ask any questions, but this is my second meeting. First time we're interviewing someone. I find this very uncomfortable to interrogate people in front of the entire community, and it gets difficult to ask, tough questions. But I think most of us, we don't know until we get to a committee what the issues may be and how we're going to react. I think we're looking for character references, very basic character references, and it's interesting, to test you and like you're going to be hired for a police officer job or something. That's not what this is. This is advisory and to help the community. So I appreciate you withstanding the interrogation. I wish we could do this a different way. I think different communities do this a different way, but it's good that you're here and you answered some pretty tough questions. If I have any tough questions, I'm going to see you outside of the cameras because I don't want to put that pressure on you. But thank you for being here. Okay,
Anyone
thank you.
wants to reach out, they can.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Are there any other questions? Okay, we'll discuss the appointment at our next regular meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, item 11, reports from liaison. I don't know, do we have anybody from the Board of Ed? Okay. Borough Council, Tammy, or would you want to,
Yes.
do you want to make a comment on the Borough Council?
We have continued our work on our SOPs and SOQs, and the council just received the draft copy. We'll be reviewing that. We have our assignments before our next meeting later this month. And other than that, we're still, we put the ad out for fire chief for applicants. So that's an ongoing thing. And that's pretty much the bulk of what we're doing. I know that we had Sunshine Shop do our decorating for us. Heather Logie got lucky enough to get hopped in the basket of the ladder, and they raised her up to put the wreaths where they were supposed to go and the lights. So if you have a chance, go look by our nice historic fire station. And yeah, we'll be meeting later this month, and then we'll meet in January, and it's always the third Wednesday. So anybody that lives in the borough that wants to come, that's our regular meeting night at the fire station in the second story.
Do you have anything else?
Oh, that's it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. Hope you recover. Next item on the agenda, discussion acceptance of monthly budget reports. Summary report on general fund appropriations for town government. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Comments?
I just have a question for Brian. What percentage does the state reimburse in lieu of in lieu of taxes, they don't, the state's not reimbursing us 100%. What percent do they, so how much is a town losing from the state grants?
I don't know the percentage off the top of my head. Jen, do you know that one? No. I can get back to you about that.
Thank you. Because I'm assuming we're gonna be losing a lot of money from all of the property that they purchased.
You would lose money, but you would also receive a payment because they own it. So you're right. There should be a decrease, but there will be something.
Are there any other comments regarding our general fund appropriations for the town government? We'll take a vote. All those that want to approve, say yes.
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 Any opposed? No? Any abstentions?
I abstain, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, the motion passes. We don't have anything from the Board of Ed. Now we'll go to the town manager's report.
At the meeting last month, I mentioned we have 4 bridges in town that have been accepted into the state's design construction program for replacement. So they'll begin working on that design in the coming calendar year. I'm mentioning it again because some of that design work may require temporary or permanent easements. And pursuant to that, we sent out about 30 letters to residents last week, putting them on notice that they may be contacted by state DOT as they conduct their design work. So just a heads up to the council that those letters are being received now. And so if you hear from somebody that got a letter saying that their property might be being acquired, that's the nature of it. Regarding the...
And all it is are issues, this is all state funded, they're paying for the design and the construction, so we're not on the hook.
That's correct.
So it's a good situation.
Yes. Regarding the sewer moratorium, we sent a counteroffer late last month to Frito-Lay, and they said they would get back to us sometime mid-December, so we're hoping that we'll get some feedback from them on that. And I know we're going into executive session to discuss the status of negotiations in a little while with the WPCA. Regarding the wastewater plant capacity expansion, we are still waiting from DEP on the notice to proceed. We have the grant funding in place. We have appropriations in place. We just need the letter saying to start the work. So that's what we're waiting on. We've been told we'll hear from them soon. Regarding the community center and KMS construction projects, progress continues to be slow. We're continuing to work through a number of issues with the contractor related to things that have been done or not done. There might be one potential design flaw that we're addressing between the architect and the construction manager, and we're looking at starting to identify what's going to need to be moved. We're not 100% optimistic that that's going to happen on time, but their positioning is that it's going to, so we'll keep you updated on that. Regarding the well contamination, just for the benefit of the new council members, in case you're not aware, DEP had a pilot program. They started testing around fire training centers this summer for this PFAS chemical, and they had come out to Killingly and conducted some testing. And the PFAS they found was not consistent with what was used for chemicals at the training center, so they're suspecting that the source of the PFAS is from more industrial use. We have shared with them some previous correspondence chains between the EPA and the DEP regarding industrial contamination in the areas of Rogers. Some of those sites included the Cotton Bridge Road site that was mentioned earlier. There was some DEP enforcement a few years ago in a correspondence chain on that, and then it went dead around the time COVID happened. So the people at DEP that are working on this well program are aware. We've shared that correspondence with them, and they're aware of those previous enforcement issues and are looking into that as well.
So, Once they've identified the water is contaminated, the state is putting in some type of filtrations?
Yeah, that's correct. So they drew a service area around the training center initially, and they did some testing. They got positive test results. So that every time they get a positive test result, they're expanding the radius that they're going to test within by another 500 feet. So by the beginning of November, they had tested 70 residences. About 2/3 of those had exceedances for the PFAS. They sent letters out to another batch of 30 additional residences. We haven't gotten feedback on that batch yet if they're continuing to see positive test results. If they do have an exceedance of the PFAS concentration, they do install the filtration system, and they do follow-up testing to make sure that the system is working.
Now, that's a one-year program?
The filtration system, depending on what the level of contamination is, that tank could last 2 years, could last 3 years. It's going to vary depending on how much it's filtering and how much water use there is.
So then it's still up to DEP to change that filter, or is it?
No, I think once they pay for the filter to be installed, they'll pay for bottled water service up until the time that the test results come back and that the resident declines or accepts the filtration system, but the maintenance cost of the system is on the resident.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, I can address the
Sure, go ahead.
comment on how it works.
Yeah,
usually.
go ahead.
I don't know a whole lot about PFAS other than my time managing, cleaning tanks and fire trucks and things like that were previously used, this type of stuff. But how many homes do you think at this point? I mean, obviously this could continue to grow. What are we talking? What's the scope of this right now? And what's the level? Is it a level that is just over the acceptable limit? I know the limits keep dropping, obviously, because we know more about it. But can you explain just briefly?
Yeah.
I'm new here, so what's
Sure.
the scope of this?
So as of the beginning of November, they had sent out 70 letters to test, right? And they had put 70 residences on bottled water service, or roughly that amount had accepted the bottled water service. They did that testing. I would say about 2/3 of those had exceedances of PFAS. Some of them were very slight. Some of them didn't require a filtration system. Most of them were at a level that a filtration system were needed out of the 2/3 that tested positive. Based on where they saw some of those hits, they decided to expand the testing area. So there were approximately 30 additional letters that went out to various streets, and we haven't seen any test results yet from those additional testing areas, but I suspect you'll start to see some in the next couple months. There were a number of sites in that area that have been the subject of enforcement over the past couple decades and even much longer ago, and we've shared that information with DEEP, and they suspect that some of that industrial activity in the past may be the real source of contamination in the area.
Thank you.
Okay. We talked about the dam earlier. We don't have much of an update on that. The owner, I understand, did submit their hydraulic analysis to DEEP yesterday, which was required of them by deadline. That hydraulic analysis hasn't been shared with us, but that analysis is supposed to inform their repair plan, which is due to DEEP by January 5th. I also understand that DEEP did allow them to shut the slide gate, so the dam is not draining at the rate that it was draining when it was open. And there's been about a 12-foot loss in the elevation of the water level over the past 5 or 6 weeks since it's been opened.
I have a question. Army Corps of Engineers, are they involved at all, but not yet?
Not to my knowledge. I don't know if it's considered a navigable area that would be regulated by the Army Corps. It's a good question. I don't know.
So what are we waiting for them to come back?
We're waiting for so the owner has to submit that repair plan by January 5th to DEP, and then DEP has to evaluate that and decide whether they're going to approve the repair plan.
And if they do approve the repair plan, that would be on, whose dollar is that?
Well, that would be a WISH's responsibility. That's the owner.
Have any of the other dams showed any leakage?
Not that I know of recently. I know several years ago or more, there were some issues with the other dams that are connected to this waterway.
We have all those reports too.
We have previous correspondence regarding the issues in the past, yes.
Thank you.
Real quick. So the water at the level it's at now, is it still leaking out those areas where the pipe was, the PVC pipe they put up to check for sediment? Is it still coming out of that at a good rate, or is it slowed down?
It's slowed down. You can still see it coming through the slide area because there's a channel that leads up to it, but it's at a much reduced rate because the slide is closed now, but you can still see water weeping through the damaged areas on the other side as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Like, one of the comments is that, I mean, it's kind of hard, it's all on DEP right now, but if you guys want to write a letter to your state legislators, that would be helpful. You know, they can have some influence on DEP or whatever. If there's some kind of a function where the state legislators come to town, it'd be nice to coffee with whoever. That would be an issue. That would be helpful. If it can be done in a social event, it's a lot different than if you call them up and you want demanding action. If they happen to be here for some other reason, it'd be great to catch their ear or whatever. And it's hard to know when they're gonna be in town, but sometimes they have their people let us know, you know, when they're gonna be here. Sometimes there's ribbon cuttings, there's various town functions that some of our legislators attend, and that would be a good opportunity if you can catch them that, okay, hey, you know, we have a problem over here, and, you know, they can light a fire under DEP or the governor or who knows what, but that would be another avenue, because what, you know, we're strapped for funds. All we can do is what Brian is saying, we're getting the information, but it's in DEP's hands. But if we can put pressure, maybe if you know someone at EPA, whoever, you know, if we bring this forward, you know, hopefully we can get this resolved and get a repair plan in place, or help it along anyway.
I have one follow-up question on that, maybe the town manager. I know you're the new chair, Mr. Gandelsky, but have we, any previous council action, reached out to those representatives? So I guess it would be in that district, Senator Flexer, Representative Stewart, I believe, covers that area. Some of the neighbors have given me a yes. Has any official correspondence from the town manager, prior chair? I know you just got here, so it wouldn't be you necessarily, but
Well,
are you aware that, I mean, this has been going on for a little bit, you know, obviously a few months at least. It seemed like we would have reached out to them at some point already, and are we getting any feedback as far as how they might be able to help us so
Well,
far?
I've talked to May Flexer on a couple of occasions just to say, hey, we have this issue, and Dolphinier the same. With the other one in the 51st, I had no contact with him. But again, we need, if public, you see them somewhere, just, you know, hey, we got an issue here, you know, can you do something, help us out? But as far as official notification, I don't know. I don't think we've done that to send a letter to. I don't know if we did that in the past. The last time this was an issue, that the state representative wasn't around. I know we've had conversations with the current representative about this issue. So. Yeah, see, that's why a lot of it right now is on deep. How do we?
We don't know
keep
what
them
we need to ask yet. That's another thing.
Right,
If you're going to
right.
go to the state, you just don't say, help me, help me. You've got to say, I need this, or I need something with the sewer plant, obviously. We have to know what we're asking for. It sounds like we're getting closer to that, you know, what the options are. But
So we have to keep putting the pressure on.
I
that
mean,
we
I
just
don't
can't let this
mind.
go.
I see these folks a lot, you know. And but when you're talking to them, like you said, sometimes it can be a casual interaction. Those are great opportunities to talk about all kinds of issues. But usually the first thing out of their mouth is, you know, write something up. What do you need? I mean, that's what I hear. I don't, you know, just help me isn't good enough. You know, they want to know specifically that we're asking for. So it sounds like we don't have exactly that that information to really put in front of them. And again, DEEP has to take a look at it. Sometimes it's pressure on DEEP to make, you know, a quicker move or, you know, better service or, you know.
Well, the issue with DEEP, they're so short-handed.
Well, that's where our representatives can help.
Our sewer permit is, what, 4 years out of date? Well, we're working on the previous sewer permit, but they have no people, and it's like, again, that's the same type of thing, that if they don't have the personnel, but this is dam safety, so this is a little bit different issue. So they don't want a catastrophic failure going downstream. So I think it's a little higher on but I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But
I am not the official legislative liaison here, but if we have, you know, that report, or that report is not coming quick enough, I'd be glad to reach out to anybody you want me to, both at the state
maybe that's what we
executive
should do.
branch or the legislative branch. I mean, I communicate with these
maybe once they get
organizations
to the
often.
January 5th report, and then we can forward that to the reps.
And again, I'd be glad to work with anyone to.
Sure. Well, that's the thing,
reach
it's,
contact.
something's happening, it may not be fast enough for, you know, everybody out there.
Well, I can tell you, this is gonna take some time, and the sewer plant's gonna take some time.
And everything is in DEP's hands. There's so many issues in town, it's under DEP, and we just hope for the best. Okay, you can continue.
Just a quick note, there's some environmental testing and sampling going on at Bailey Hill Road, and they're working on a structural integrity evaluation of the structures out there through our grants at EPA. Based on discussion with the leadership and tabling the resolution to appoint the town attorney again, I did put out an RFQ seeking legal services. Responses for that are due January 5th. We did share the RFQ with several of the firms that are qualified to do that municipal work in the state of Connecticut. So we'll let you know what we get for responses and make a short list and schedule interviews with the council in the future. We also applied for a sidewalk replacement grant on Dyer Street. The application is valued at approximately $565,000. That was submitted last week, so that goes through the COG to DOT, and I'm sure we'll hear a response in the next couple months or perhaps longer, depending on DOT's process. I just wanted to call out one thing, item from the reorganization meeting in case anybody has intentions to amend the rules of procedure. It does require that if any amendment has to be submitted at a council meeting so that it can be warned before the next vote is taken on whether it gets amended at the subsequent meeting. So I don't know if anybody has anything, but I'm just bringing it up in case you do, so we can get that out here on the table and move on with that. So that's my report for this evening. Thank you.
Any questions on the manager's report? John, do you have anything?
With regard to the Old Killingly Pond Dam, there was a report that was due on December 6th. Have we received that?
No, we were informed it was submitted on time, or yesterday. They did request a deadline for a couple days, so the extension was given for it to be submitted yesterday, and we were told it's been submitted. It has not been shared with us yet.
Thank you.
Brian, with respect to the Old Killingly Pond, Edie Prey has been breached. They were doing some work on that. I don't know if you were aware of that. So it is multiple water loss between both of these two. So, but both are under DEP. I think they were under a directive to design a flow-through on Edie Prey, and I don't know what the status of that is from DEEP. Because there was a concern, we actually had Quincy Hill Road was closed for a while because they were worried about it. But, so now it's two water bodies up there have an effect on the Whetstone Brook.
Mr. Chairman? Am I still
Yeah,
on the
John?
floor? My experience in working with the DEP, there's nothing like photographs and daily calls to whoever the responsible agent is. I had an incident privately where they weren't investigating enough the 500 feet they had reached, and there's more going on to private property. Once they saw photographs of oil slick on the water, it became apparent that they now had a greater attention. As far as council rules of procedure go, I have to apologize, I'm still going through those, and I have not completed that. Thank you for your report. Thank you.
And Brian included the WPCA moratorium update in his report, so we won't bring that up. Unfinished business for Dave.
Are we still on to move the rec over to the Westfields? How is that going?
Officially, yes.
Officially when?
Officially, our position is, yes, we're going to move in January 15th. That seems to be the contractor's position as well, that he's going to get it done. But I think realistically, we know that it's likely that may not happen. There are a number of issues that need to be resolved. And, they need to get resolved by people doing things other than saying they're going to be done on time. So we'll continue to work on that with the contractor, construction manager.
So we may have to delay it.
We may.
Thank you.
Jim?
Again, we're catching up here with new
okay.
people, so I understood that there is a deadline where we're gonna not be able to fund operation costs at the Broad Street School in some which way. I would imagine we still have to keep the heat on through the winter, but maybe we had planned to drain it and stop the heat, I don't know, but does the town manager or the superintendent have worked out a plan? Should there be a delay beyond the planned date? Do we need to worry about it? Do we need to take action or any
I don't know
funding issue?
that we need to worry about it extensively yet. And there has been some executive session conversations with the construction manager contractor, so I don't want to say too much in open session about what our position is and how that might be affected by the contracts. We did budget for partial years being at both facilities, and it's already been delayed several months. Even we're not necessarily outside our budget scope yet. We may start to get outside our budget scope, and there may be damages as a result of that, and as far as costs that we didn't expect to incur. And we have a position about that. So, we'll have to see how extensive those damages are and how much those expenses are, and see if they can be credited as we wrap the project up, or if we need to do something else.
I appreciate that. That goes without saying. If there's schedule slippage, the building committee has to deal with that. I was sitting next to, unfortunately for them, two upper-level Downs people at the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities last week, and I gave them an earful as we were eating lunch, and reminded them my father was on the building committee, so if they didn't please him, that I would hear about it, and then things would happen, bad things would happen. So, again, they didn't know much about the project, honestly. But I guess I'm just, again, reiterating, we don't need to do anything. Building committee's doing their thing with the money.
They are.
Broad Street, if we slip, you and the superintendent have that transition figured out without.
Yeah, we are actually working on updating the MOU for the space allocation over there and who's going to manage what and pay for what. So that's something
Fine.
that'll come back to the council in the next month or two.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments for the town manager at this? Okay, so we'll move on. Unfinished business for town council action. Consider an action on a resolution appointing the town attorney. Can I have a motion?
I think the town manager has said that he's put an RFQ out because there was some sort of not wanting to look at our options instead of rehiring the other town attorney. So
Right, so that's what I'm looking at. Do we want to move this to a future date?
Yes, I would say we would table this till,
Because I think, well, table is not the word. I think we just move it.
Postpone.
Postpone. I think that's what we're.
we'll postpone it. I think he said January 5th was going to be, so the RFQs would be back.
That's correct.
So I would take a motion to postpone item 14A.
I'll make that motion.
Second the motion.
Specifically to the January regular town council meeting.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
That's when we'll interview.
What's that?
Are we gonna interview those?
Well, okay, that's why we need a discussion. That's, so, I'm hearing from some people that they would like to have more local attorneys involved versus having the outside folks. I don't know what your pleasure is. Jim?
That is not my pleasure, and I know a lot of the attorneys. I've used some of them in the past. Unfortunately, in this day and age, I don't know how this town manager feels, but it's hard to get one attorney, especially the firms that are small around here, to have a capacity. They're very busy, first of all. They may not be looking for too much business, a town the size of Killenly, but there's a lot of specialties now within the municipal arena, and when you hire Howard and Sage, I think, is that who we have now? Or Suissman or Shipman, or these firms have collected all the people that know anything, and there's only a few firms, 3 or 4 of them that really cover most all the towns in Connecticut. There's a reason for that. You might need an HR attorney for one issue, you might need a contract lawyer for another issue, you might need a general lawyer for, general counsel issues, opinions. So it's difficult to, if that is a dream, to bring a local attorney on, like we used to have. We used to have a local firm, and there might be 2 or 3 attorneys there, but they're not necessarily versed in all the complexities of municipal law and matters. So again, I see, we can look at all of them and see what pops out, but there's a reason most of the towns in the state now have these 3 or 4 firms that have most of the attorneys that specialize in this. Again, I can think of the ones that are pretty good around here, but I don't even know if they want the job at this point. They're pretty busy, so that's my 2 cents.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, John?
How wide of a net did the town manager cast when it comes to putting out the procurement?
So we identified, I believe, 7 firms that have municipal divisions, and we shared the RFQ with all those firms. We've posted it on the planner's listserv, so if we missed anybody in our research about the type of firms that do this type of work in Connecticut, hopefully they'll pick it up. We've shared it with our existing town attorney, and it's on the town website. It's on the town website, so if anybody's Googling, it might pop up in their search results if they're looking for work. And I'm happy to share the list, and if I've missed anybody, and they can send it to them. So it's an open RFQ.
How would you like to?
And
So you haven't.
there are 2 firms on that list that are not Killingly local, but they're Eastern Connecticut.
So you weren't aware of that list or are you aware of the list?
I'm not
John?
looking. I don't practice municipal law.
No,
just
but I
wanted to
mean-
make sure that it was out there somewhere. I think procedurally, I agree with, I believe, Mr. Griffiths. Whomever shows interest should be invited to interview that night, should send a representative. If they can't do it that night, we can have maybe another round of it, just given the timing. But I think one of the most enlightening meetings we had when I was chairman was inviting 4 or 5 law firms here, and
It was
they
good,
rolled it
yes.
out, and I think we learned a lot about those firms, and we made some important decisions that night. So instead of just going with what we've had, I think it's time that we see what's out there.
Well, that's my thoughts, to see what's out there. But I'm getting some input that more from the general public than town council members was, they want to see local attorneys, and I don't know if that's quite, in this day and age, as Jim was saying.
If they're in the eastern part
And if they apply, we can interview.
So that's right. So we have a list of people that we can interview. We can set up for that for our special meeting next month? Or what?
Responses are due the 5th.
Okay.
Which I think might be the date of the special meeting, so I don't know that they'll be ready to
Okay, well, we
interview
got,
that night, but we could certainly put them on for the following week.
okay.
And you can interview them then and take it under advisement, or if for some reason that schedule doesn't work for the firms that are responding, you have to make the decision by February, according to the charter.
Mhm.
So there's some time in there.
Well, we can have at our regular meeting, set up who could be here, and we'll start with that.
Sounds like a plan.
I think you need a second, Mr. Chairman. You've only had a one motion made so far to postpone.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay. John?
we don't have a second? Is that what you just said?
Correct.
Discussion needs to take place after the second, according to Robert's Rules of Order. So we need a second in order to further discuss this issue.
Well, Dave just second.
Second. All right,
So-
so discussion?
So our discussion is to move item 14A to our regular meeting next month.
The comments that I would have would be in agreement with Mr. Cicilline. We should infuse as much flexibility into this process as possible. The attorneys that were utilized have to have the qualifications necessary to deal with municipal issues, but also have to have the qualifications necessary to look outside of the box. I, as a business person of one, have done consulting from Miami out to Canada as one person. I don't know everything, but I do know if I don't know something, I know I don't know it, and I go to an expert to bring in as a consultant. I don't think we will find a perfect attorney. However, I think that every opportunity should be given to local people who pay local taxes, who grow their families here, et cetera. Thank you.
Any other comments? So I guess I want to have a vote to move this to our regular meeting in January. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we will move item 14A to our next regular meeting in January. 14B, considering an action on resolution appointing special counsel. Could I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move to appoint Pullman and Conley as our tax and special bond counsel.
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion here without concern. They've been our bond counsel for a very long time. They've served us through multiple town managers, always worked well with every town manager that I've ever worked with, and I've heard no complaints from them or anybody else about the work performed by Pullman and Conley.
Thank you. Any other comments? Jim?
Mr. Chairman, this is very specialized work, even more specialized than some of the other work the town attorneys do. There's only a few firms. This is the premier. These are the best people in the state. They make big bucks to do this. I think there's Marie Fallon and Jessica Kennedy over there that specialize in this particular part of law, and they usually do most of the towns in the state. And it's appropriate to appoint them, I think.
And that's something that we could do tonight.
It is on the agenda.
Any other discussion? John, do you have any? Beulah? Kevin?
No, since my time on the council, we've been using them, and we've had good results. I have no complaints.
Okay. Dave? Any?
Well, I'm very happy. They were the ones that just did your bond work, right?
They did.
And we come back with a AA plus. You can't get much better than that for the size of this community.
other discussion? All in favor of Pullman and Conley as special bond counsel, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay, 14D. No, wait a minute. C, I gotta put my glasses on. Consideration and action on resolution appointing the town council recording secretary. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Discussion.
Are you gonna name someone?
Well, that's what I'm looking for, discussion, that's not, Brian, could you start the ball rolling?
Not like that. Sorry, that's distracting. Well, I think we discussed at the last meeting and mentioned at some prior meetings this fall that our council recording secretary has not been attending the meetings for some time, and I think has only attended 3 meetings in the last 2 years. And there was discussion about looking for a replacement, and in talking with the chair and vice chair, they asked me if I had anybody who was willing to do it, and Ashley Fell on my staff is willing to do it. So I prepared the resolution for her to be appointed to that role, and that's what's up for consideration for you tonight.
So far, Ashley has done a wonderful job with all of her work. There had been some problems with communications or lack of communication, and since she's come on, everything seems to be working quite well, and I think she's doing a great job.
Any other comments?
Has this position been advertised?
No.
No.
So I understand you. Ashley, which would be an excellent choice, is a willing participant here? Or did you volunteer her for this? Okay, I just want to make sure so we're not, okay, thanks.
You have a backup plan if you couldn't be here?
Well, the other assistant who works in my office, and Ashley and her have been actually taking turns watching the meetings and covering on the follow-up in case the minutes or other things get missed. So I think if Ashley couldn't make a meeting for some reason, we have somebody else watching the meeting anyway. So there's
I think
there's
that's
a
an
backup
excellent
plan.
idea. I just don't want to see the town manager trying to take notes and be on tune. It's too much for you to do both. I think Ashley would be a wonderful candidate.
Any further comments? All Ashley Fell as to be our recording secretary, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 14D, consideration and action on resolution establishing the date, time, and place for 2026 and 2027 regular council meetings. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
Discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, John.
I had a comment about whether we should be holding this meeting on Veterans Day or not. Have we resolved that?
I didn't hear what you said.
It was election day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Election Day.
Yeah, so in the calendar that's in your packet, we took off the special meeting in November, and we left the regular meeting, which we checked would not conflict with Veterans Day. So we removed the Tuesday that would conflict with elections, which is consistent with your past practice. You seem to have had one regular meeting in November, and if there's a need for a special meeting, we can always add one. fact, the special meeting doesn't have to be on the calendar you file, it's just the regular meetings.
Any comments?
If there's anything from we've combined the meetings before.
Yeah, we can always add another special meeting if we need it, or
Combine
with some
them if
notice,
it-
we can add it, so. All in favor of the dates as presented and deleting the November 3rd, I think it's November 3rd, right? That we remove the November 3rd date as the special meeting. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item 14E, consideration and action on resolution adopting the town council's rules of procedure. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Mr. Chairman, just one question. Can we adjust these rules at any time, or is it, once it's set, or is there, how do we open the rules
Well,
up?
as Brian said, we have to do it at a town council meeting. If there's gonna be an amendment,
yeah, sure, sure.
to the rule, and then I think, whatever the posting time, there is a time frame that it would
Right.
take to take effect.
Okay, I read through them, just got here, don't know what might work or not work, or could be improved, but I just.
But I think
4 months from now, I might be
I think if we had
disagreeable
to,
to
we
something.
could adjust, I think we can adjust it, we have that option.
But you have to put it in writing, and then that weighs over to another meeting before you.
Absolutely. Procedure has to be followed, and is there any particular vote to open it up, or it's a simple majority?
I
To make
think
a change
it's
to the-
a written request. I think that's, Brian, I think that's what you said early on, it was a
Yeah,
written.
so any counselor can introduce a potential amendment at the council meeting, and that amendment would be taken up for consideration at the following regular meeting. The organizational meeting section of the charter does call for you to adopt the rules of procedure by February. But I didn't read any, I'd have to look at it again. I didn't notice anything in there that would prevent you from amending it again in an interim capacity, but I can go back and check on that, so.
It's under section 10, Article 10, section 2, amendment to the rules, can be made, submitted in writing, and can be voted on must be voted on by not less than 5. So a simple majority.
So we can adopt the rules as they are right now.
once we can go at it.
And then if you see they're not working, we can adopt it as necessary. So, all in favor of the rules of procedure as they exist, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstention.
Motion carries. So we will have to, I guess as we go along, we have an issue, we'll just take care of it. 14F, discussion of town council liaisons to boards and commissions. I didn't have a chance, I don't know how many brought forward, but I think we're gonna have to, well, I need a motion first
A
before.
motion to do what?
Discussion of town council liaisons to boards and commissions.
So moved.
Second? Okay. I didn't have a chance, whoever, if someone brought these forward, now I got some from Ula, and I didn't check my box today, so I don't know how many put their request in.
I collected 4, I think they're in your folder.
Oh, this full, okay.
Others may have sent them to you directly, but I think I have Tammy's, John's, Lula's, I feel like maybe one other person.
I was going to attend my meetings that on my boards and commissions until the new ones were assigned.
Okay, yeah, we talked about that the other day. Okay, I will, now that I have these, so I guess at this point, we would have to, not table, but delay till our, well, there was a discussion about tabling or delay. what is the best way to approach something like this?
You really can't table or delay a discussion. We're simply discussing, there's technically, there needs to be action with a motion.
Okay.
So you as chairman, it is your prerogative to appoint folks to these liaisonships. You can simply report back to us and tell us at the next meeting what we're going to be doing. It's your
Okay.
prerogative to have a discussion.
Okay.
And so there's no action item for this. You simply report to us and say, Jim, you're gonna be going to that meeting and that meeting. John, sorry, we couldn't give you the one you wanted, go to these ones. So there's really nothing, it's just simply you saying, I'll get back to you in January, in my opinion.
No, that's
Sure.
fine. I like that. Okay. I think that's what I will do.
Mr. Chair, I had put a comment on there. Some of those I've been on since I've been on here, and they work with my work schedules.
Right.
That's why I'd,
That's, yeah, okay.
yeah, so it's,
Yes, I saw that one when we talked the other day.
Mr. Chairman, I will submit a written, we discussed, I think, at a previous
Right,
time.
yep.
We can submit those again if they're
Sure.
not in there. But you could just contact us, because time is ticking away and some of these meetings are taking place too.
Right.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I think I requested the Board of Education, and I don't believe prior members were. I didn't, so, but they're meeting tomorrow night, so I'm gonna attend that meeting as unofficial unless you say otherwise right now. Again, I'm not trying to jump ahead of your
No, no, that's
decision
okay,
here,
that's
but
fine,
it
because
is, the
it's-
time is ticking, and I think
Yep.
it sounds like we're discussing this, right? And there's no secrets, what we want and what we don't want, I guess. It's not a big deal, and what you assign us is fine. I don't care what it is. But again, there is that meeting tomorrow, and
Sure.
I'd like to be there at least, only, Louis says,
So
could go
yeah.
anyway,
So what
but-
we can do is, based on what John's saying, I can just send it out. Here you are, and we can be ready.
If you have any problem with
Yep.
that, then.
Okay. We can discuss it.
You're the boss, Mr. Chairman.
You have a comment?
No, you just don't have to wait to another meeting.
Yeah,
Just
okay,
hand
well,
it out.
that's, all right. Okay. 15A, the recap review of the fiscal year 2024-2025 fiscal summary, financial trends, and bond rating letter. Brian.
Just wanted to recap some of the information we discussed the last couple months regarding how we ended the fiscal year and our bond rating status. Coming out of the previous fiscal year, we did have a deficit, which we anticipated, and that was largely due to the Lake Road Generating Plant Stabilization Agreement not being finalized and it being a reval year. So there were some revenues that were off, and we had planned to use fund balance, which we budgeted and we did expend. Going forward in this fiscal year, we're now operating under the same assumptions, so we are not expecting to run a deficit in the current fiscal year. In relation to that, we recently went out to bond to borrow for our community center and KMS project, approximately $15 million. And we got a positive bond rating, AA+, which has been previously mentioned, which is very good for us. And we received an interest rate of 2.59%. So that's an overview of the recap we discussed at the end of your budget transfers, and that's an update on the bond rating and the borrowing. And the finance director's here to go through things in more detail if you'd like. Or if you'd like to add anything that I didn't call out.
And we still have some tax, what's the term? The lake, what is it? I lost my train of thought.
The data center?
No, tax appeals. Have all our tax appeals been resolved? I don't know how many more are out there. I know Alexander's Lake's still out there. I keep getting a question.
I know we settled 2 or 3 of them when I started, I think back in September.
Right, there was 2. There were
2. There was the Lowe's and the housing development.
Right, but there's still, I guess, some others that are out that haven't been in. Is that, like I say, the lake, certain people at the lake what do you, and I said, I don't know, it's in the attorney's hands, so I can't comment on it.
Yep.
What the status is,
I
where
don't-
it's going.
I don't have a status for you tonight on any others, but I can look into it for you.
Because I would, someone would like to know how many are still out there? That's the
Sure.
point. We can't talk about the dollar amounts, but how many might be out there so that everybody has an idea. And it can have a bearing on our grand list. And, Dave?
As far as the Lake Road generating, is that, is it a contract or a memorandum of understanding?
It's a full contract, and it was renewed, it was up for negotiation during that budget cycle. And so you made some assumptions to use fund balance to get through things, and you did, and then that agreement was renewed.
So is it a 20-year?
I don't know if it's 10 or 20 years. Jen, do you know? It's 10?
It's not 20.
It's 10 years.
But we're several years into it, so it's like really only like 6 left.
So it's not tied to the mill rate at all, right?
Well, it has an effect on the mill rate.
I know,
Yeah.
but is it their tax that they're paying isn't directly
No,
affected?
it's negotiated. That's correct.
All right, where is the contract?
There should be a copy in the folder, the binder I made for you. There's a
All
copy
right.
of it in there, and if you don't have that anymore, I can get that to you electronically or hard copy.
And the rest of all the contracts are in the town clerk's office,
They should be.
including the teacher's contract?
It should be.
So under those contracts, we're allowed to read them there but not take them out, correct?
I don't see why you can't copy a contract.
Well, that's, we never were allowed to take them out so before.
Yeah,
Thank you.
once they're signed, I
It's
mean,
public
that's.
information.
Yeah, public,
Yeah.
right, that's what I would say. Well,
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Just one more. Have you seen, or how is it going to affect us, what the legislature said about housing and how it affects also the sewer treatment funding?
My understanding is we'll have to put together a plan of sort to address that legislation, or there's an option to, I believe, write on the Council of Governments plan. And I think that's something that the Planning and Zoning Commission's gonna be taking up at their next meeting, and we'll come up with a recommendation as to what the next steps are and what we recommend. So,
Thank you.
yep.
But the sewer moratorium has a big bearing on that.
Yeah, I mean,
That,
you
just to
can't
be
tie
out there.
people in, so.
Right, that's where it's, just trying to throw it that we gotta get that moving. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Oh.
Mr. Chairman. Mr.
John.
Chairman, you just mentioned it, the sewer moratorium. Is there any place in the report that refers to the potential impact of the moratorium?
In the report, the housing?
The financial report?
No, I don't believe in the financial report that was submitted by the Finance Department. I don't think that there's anything specific called out in there about the sewer moratorium. I know our Economic Development Department keeps track of missed opportunities from development we can't do because we can't tie somebody in right now. So, we can quantify that in a sense, but it doesn't necessarily have a black and white cost on the balance sheet.
I have other comments, but I'll reserve them for the executive session.
Any
That's all I
other,
have.
any other comments? We'll move along. Again, council member reports, well, again, we've got new people on, so no one's, not too many have been to we'll start with, Jim, you're going to the Board of Ed meeting tomorrow night you chose that, so next time we can start having our reports.
If I'm awarded that lucky position by the chairman, yeah, but I will attend that, and again, I have an interest in that, and many of the other committees I have a conflict with. Someday I may be sitting at that table talking to all of you about various land use or other parts of those committees. So, no, Board of Ed is of interest to me. Obviously, they are the biggest budget consumer for the town, in any town, so the financial aspect of that interests me, budget process interests me. And again, we've made these comments, I think, a few times in the last couple of meetings, but, and others have made them, just to have a little smoother budget process with more communication, and I think we heard that a few times from different people. And I hope I can bring that to that position, that liaison position, so.
There are several meetings with all of that information presented way ahead of the town meeting, but very few people attend that meetings.
Yeah, that's normal, unfortunately.
So that's where all the information is relayed.
Kevin, have any comments? I mean, we talked about KMS and a little bit.
Yeah,
but
we
from
did.
your standpoint.
Two of the coaches, the wrestling coaches, invited me to go there last night to see their space problems that they're having. And I had emailed Brian about it last night, so I didn't forget any of the things that we discussed. But now the MOU, can they be involved in that for discussions on that, the coaches and with the KRPD and stuff?
I mean, I guess they can. The way the school's positioned it now is that the school wants to be in charge of the space that they use in the scheduling for that program. So that's what's been communicated to us. But, we're revising an existing MOU.
Yeah.
So it's something to be considered and look at.
You have, like, the youth program is there, and they're utilizing like half of the gym, and then the high school team is there in those new rooms that they turned over, and I don't know what the youth coach, they had probably 30 to 40 kids there, plus the parents, and then they're being told that they can't have parents in the hallways watching the kids wrestle and practice when there's only enough space inside that room for the students because of this much smaller space. So if I could, if we want to go back and forth and find out if they can be involved and have some input on that, I can reach out to them and we can. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. And as far as Brian gave an update on the status on when that's been pushed back, I think originally was November 28th was the turnover date, and I was in there last night, obviously, and the old cafeteria is still under construction pretty heavily in there, and I know there were issues upstairs in that culinary room that they had finished, which was finished, but I think they still needed work, and there's a lot of areas that still need some punch list items collected, finished on.
But it's nice to get this out there that, what the specific issues are. I know there were delays, but let's get this out so someone can make a comment how it affects maybe their child or whatever else,
Right.
Maybe we got some other input with that. On the sewer, well, we talked about that quite a bit already. And the Conservation Commission, they're working on the environmental award, and they've been working with a lot of people at Cat Hollow. The Master Gardener program, Master Gardener people have been working over there, and they're doing a good job pulling out invasive species, planting new stuff. But it's funny because Cat Hollow is under rec. It's not so much under conservation, but conservation is moving it along, so that's fine. Wula?
I didn't attend the housing meeting because it was on the same night as the town council meeting. I didn't attend the planning and zoning meeting because I was on vacation, although I did watch the meeting. The 7-Eleven truck stop on the Attawagan exit was passed, and zone map change on Hartford Pike. 2 of the lots were changed to general commercial, and then one other lot he wanted to change to low density, but that will remain as rural. And then there was a subdivision of property on Stone Road, where that's going to be postponed until, I believe, until next week.
Thank you.
And I believe that was it. That was, they covered at the meeting.
So moving on, item 18, we're looking at executive session with the Water Pollution Authority to discuss the status and, let's see, I gotta put my glasses on again, and negotiation strategy related to confidential settlement agreement with Frito-Lay. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to go into
Second.
executive session with Water Pollution Control Authority, the town manager, and do we want the finance director in also?
Jen, you want to hang around? You can go home. I've been trying to tell you can go home.
And
Dave
Dave,
Cabot.
our town engineer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, we'll be going into executive session shortly. I'll take a 5-minute break, and we can proceed.